Iranian regime that he could take any of them out. Any of them out. So he stopped them from doing a number of things. For instance, as a result of his sanctions on oil, on trade, on finance, on everything he could put his stamp on, according to the BBC, this is just 3 or so years ago, Iran's economy has fallen into a deep recession. Iran's oil exports have plummeted. Their currency halved in value. Halved in value. In other words, their economy was collapsing. The living costs rose dramatically for the average Iranian. And the people were rising up. The protests, which continue to this day, but the Iranians have butchered and brutalized those people, most of whom are women and teenage girls who stood up against the dress policies and so forth. The protests represent the culmination of a dramatic and widespread shift in Iranian attitudes of the people, and an increased appetite for risk in voicing opposition to the regime. They talk about more than 4,000 street protests. 21,000 protesters have been arrested. More than 550 people have been murdered. And the support for the protests and against the regime hit every age, every demographic in Iran, and so forth. Now, why am I bringing all this up? Because Biden and Blinken and Sullivan and all the rest of these reprobates are funding the Iranian regime, either directly, indirectly, without enforcing all of the provisions that Donald Trump put in place to choke out that regime economically, like Reagan choked out the Soviet Union, and collapse it and expand peace in the Middle East. The Biden administration took the opposite position, rearming Iran, ticking off all of the Trump waivers or refusing to enforce them, all of them. Diplomatic ties through back channels and directly. The appointment of individuals who are special pleaders for Iran, which makes it, as I said before, the Alter Hiss case look like a joke. Selling out America on the nuclear deal, selling out America across the board. And these waivers, they were given even before negotiations began. Because of this odd, grotesque Obama ideology, which is being passed on by the Obama staffers, all of whom now work for Biden from Blinken on down, that they have to build up Iran. They have to empower Iran. Iran's economy needs to be strong. While they weaken Israel, while they begin the process of controlling Israel, quote-unquote demilitarizing Israel. Because the problem in the Middle East, according to Biden, Blinken, Sullivan, according to Obama and Thomas Friedman, the problem in the Middle East is Israel. That's the problem. And so you can see the complete change from one administration to the next. Meanwhile, Biden today and Blinken doing his shuttle diplomacy behind the scenes, they are undermining, sabotaging Israel and the Netanyahu government. They don't want them to win against Hamas. In fact, they're siding with Hamas. They won't say it openly. Openly, they have what they call the big hug. See, we're with Israel. Well, as I said last night, they're stabbing him in the back.